He gonna swing on me. I ain't did nothing to that man.
Life in Atlanta has experienced its share of crazy events. However, everyone was taken aback by what transpired last night, including those who have been there for years. On that particular night, everything seemed to be supercharged. The energy in the club was contagious, with music playing non-stop and lights bouncing like fireworks over the space. Influencers, celebrities, and both locals and visitors came out, seeking enjoyment. However, not everyone was present to party and dance. Tension was on the verge of erupting in front of everyone when some individuals arrived with unresolved business. Kirk Frost and young Jock weren't behaving like themselves in the VIP area. Even though they were dressed well, there was something strange about their demeanor last night. Normally, these two are the center of the party, smiling, making jokes, and holding court while sipping drinks.
I just had to cool off, right? Just get my mind right, man, you know. But I really gotta get this off my shit, man.
Sitting silently in their booth, they hardly spoke and drank their beverages. Instead, they kept looking across the crowd as if they were waiting for someone. Kirk nodded slightly as Jock bent down to speak softly, his gaze fixed on the dance floor. The majority of individuals in the club thought they appeared relaxed, even laid back. However, if you paid close attention, you could see that they were far from relaxed. They weren't showing up like the others. They weren't there to rejoice because they had a great view of the entire club from the VIP booth, and they weren't wasting any time. They were obviously waiting, and the guy they were keeping an eye on arrived quickly. As usual, Scrappy entered, loudly and confidently, acting as though the entire space. You sensed the change as soon as he entered the room. He was surrounded by his crew. He was dapping people up and down, and his smile brightened the room. Handshakes, high fives, and hugs. Scrappy made sure everyone saw him because he knew them, all. People flocked over to shake his hand or take selfies as soon as the cameras began to light. His presence alone raised the energy level, yet even though the majority of the audience shifted toward the excitement, two eyes never left him. Jock and Kirk remained in that booth, observing his every action. They were silent, concentrated, and obviously waiting for something more than a good time. They weren't grinning or amazed. A few people in the crowd began to notice it as well. While twerking, a dancer by the bar paused to look at the VIP booth. Security personnel silently moved closer to the action without drawing too much attention. To themselves. Lots of attention. Uncertain whether the energy was changing or if it was all in his brain, the DJ even slowed down his mix a little. Kirk leaned back into the booth and whispered something else to Jock. Jock didn't even nod this time. Instead, he looked at his phone to check something and then looked back up, keeping his eyes fixed on Scrappy. When the waitress arrived with another bottle, she hesitated before approaching their table. The appearance of she felt uneasy among faces. Without a word, she backed away and gently set the bottle down. She was aware of the pressure as well, even if it wasn't immediately apparent. Those who were paying attention sensed that something was going to happen since the air was dense. Even though the room was noisy, Kirk and Jock's quiet spoke more than words could. They were simply waiting for the ideal moment.
Look at me. Oh, let me go. Look at me. Look at me.
Man, I am frustrated.
However, one of his boys leaned in and whispered something to Scrappy, who was still in his zone, laughing and posing for pictures while dancing to the music with his group. Scrappy's expression changed only a little. He stared over his shoulder at Kirk and Jock as he turned his head. Shortly after, Kirk and Jock left their booth and started to navigate the mob. The mood abruptly altered. They didn't yell, didn't cause any commotion. However, because of the manner they moved, the throng dispersed as they approached Scrappy, giving the impression that something important was about to happen. Scrappy also noticed, turning to face them with his arms slightly out, maintaining a casual yet obviously alert stance. "What's up?" he inquired, attempting to seem cool. He didn't sound. Not yet, just wondering, perhaps even attempting to maintain, preventing things from becoming overly heated. But Kirk didn't return the smile. Jock remained silent as they approached too closely. Suddenly, the volume of the music seemed excessive for the situation. Jock spoke first, leaning forward and maintaining a crisp yet quiet voice. Scrap remarked, "We heard what you said," as he looked down at him. "Kirk, you've been talking too much and didn't wait. You know what? You're chatting behind our backs and smirking at us from both sides." Kirk then produced his phone and held it out as evidence. "You didn't believe we would discover that we have receipts?" Jock added another comment. "You ran your mouth at that studio last week. Everyone sent us everything, dude." Scrappy's face shifted. He looked at Kirk and then at the phone. "That's not even the entire conversation. Why are you guys twisting it?" "I said what I said, but it doesn't sound that way." Now, things were getting hotter. Scrappy's face flushed as he moved. "I've been honest with both of them more times than I can remember. So why are you all behaving like I'm not?" He gave them a direct glance. "Isn't anyone faithful anymore?" "You. Think I'm afraid of your little receipts, man? Half of you are also false. Everybody in the club was listening. People were calling, and security drew nearer." The DJ Scrappy pointed at Kirk's phone and turned down the music a little more. "Showing the others how we were talking slickly about me when I wasn't around touched a nerve. You want to convey something?" Kirk halted Jock before he could move. Ahead. Let him speak, and let him finish. I held Isle down while Scrappy persisted, and now that I've plucked a few words out of context, you're ready to discard everything.
Y'all ain't with me. I don't have nobody.
I'm with you.
Like, at all that talking, cuz I need y'all to show me, cuz.
The crowd was now encircling them. Though not too close, the tension was intense enough to pierce everyone's awareness that this was about more than simply rumors anymore. It was about loyalty, respect, and trust. 3 things Atlantans don't play with. Jock got in the face of Scrappy. Neither of the men moved from chest to chest. Kirk took Jock's place. Before things get out of hand, you might wish to retreat. Caution Jock abruptly moved forward just enough to anger Scrappy, who then gave him a forceful shove to the chest. Jock fell backward and collided with a person behind him. A drink leaked. Glass struck the ground. Kirk sprang forward. From all sides, people rushed in. In an attempt to draw him back, one of Scrappy's crew members grabbed him, but only made matters worse. Another man bumped into someone else after tripping over a chair. Additional drinks leaked. The audience that had been watching was now in the midst of a real brawl, and the tables were in disarray. People were screaming. The dance floor was a flurry of flashing lights, shouting and confusion as phones flew into the air. Security didn't hold out. They rushed in from all sides, all in black, and they moved quickly. One guard dragged Kirk away. Before any blows could be delivered, another person moved between Jock and Scrappy. But Scrappy's group wasn't giving up. "Don't touch him like that," one of his guys said as he shoved a bouncer. Things were happening quickly. Chairs were tossed aside and tables were turned upside down. A drink sprayed across her clothing and someone screamed. Scrappy's celebration booth now appeared to be a battleground. The music stopped entirely when security took over. There was only the sound of shouting and mayhem close to the club's entrance. Kirk and Jock were led out a side door by security guards wearing tight faces. Scrappy and his gang were led in the opposite direction, their fists tight and silent. Taking him by the arm, one of his boys muttered, "Let it go, bro. Not here." People were already posting video clips from various perspectives and commentary over the footage outside the club. Within minutes, one video received thousands of views. Another tweet said, "Hey, that was Jock and Scrappy." The entire club noticed that people were picking sides online. Kirk and Jock were blamed by others. Others referred to Scrappy, went too far. However, everyone thought it was crazy. Although the battle didn't club appearances, business partnerships, and Scrappies. Now that everything is public knowledge, it's clear that this wasn't just a brawl at a nightclub. It was about friendships ending, business links collapsing, and actual repercussions. Rumors of canceled gigs, lost endorsements, and possible legal action if someone files allegations are already circulating. What are your thoughts on the matter as a whole? Please share your opinions in the comments section below, and remember to subscribe to this channel for additional updates. When security took over, the music stopped. Entirely except for the noises. Of yelling and mayhem close to the club's entrance, there was silence. Tight security forces escorted Kirk and Jock out a side entrance. Scrappy and his gang were led in the opposite direction, their fists tight and silent. Taking him by the arm, one of his boys muttered, "Let it go, bro, not here." People were already sharing videos outside the club, various camera perspectives and commentary on the video. Within minutes, one video received thousands of views. Another tweet said, "Hey, that was Jock and Scrappy." The entire club noticed that people were picking sides online. Kirk and Jock were blamed by others. Everyone felt that Scrappy had gone too far, but some crazy. Although the battle didn't continue long, the effects will be that Kirk and Jock have connections throughout Atlanta, including club appearances, business partnerships, and Scrappies. Now that everything is public knowledge, it's clear that this wasn't just a brawl at a nightclub. It was about friendships ending, business links collapsing, and actual repercussions. Rumors of canceled gigs, lost endorsements, and possible legal action if someone files allegations are already circulating. What are your thoughts on the matter as a whole? Please share your opinions in the comments section below, and remember to subscribe to this channel for additional updates.